Good day, everybody, and welcome to Detroit Comics Weekly Picks and Shop Talk. I'm Lee Gaddis.
I'm Miles Van Meter.
So what you got for us today, Miles?
I have with us Shigeru Mizuki's Kitaro, and this is like a collection of a lot of the early Kitaro stuff. And this is just like really eerie, creepy, funny manga stuff from the like 50s, 60s era. This is really groundbreaking. A lot of people copied off him after this, and this is a groundwork for like a lot of like funny, silly horror stuff.
Is this pre-tentacle horror?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, really, really cool collection. I'm really glad that Drawn and Quarterly put this together.
Yeah. Okay. My pick for the week is a good old grouping from my childhood, and that's Power Man and Iron Fist #1. They've relaunched this series, and it's really good to see Power Man and Iron Fist giving a modern sensibility in the storytellings with the way they handle their culture and diversity. So my pick of the week is Power Man and Iron Fist, and I hope that this is going to be a Netflix series soon. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm
I'd
hoping.
be down with that.
Movie?
Maybe.
HBO special?
Who knows?
No.
Yeah. Netflix special.
Netflix, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
For sure.
So I think they deserve it. So did you get a chance to get into Deadpool?
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it.
You liked
I
it?
thought it was great. Did you see it?
Oh my God. I've never taken my grandmother to see it, that's for sure.
Oh, no, for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Hard R, guys. Hard R series.
Hard R.
Hard R series.
Yeah.
So is there anything in the comic book realm now that echoes that kind of adult sensibilities?
Like in Deadpool comics?
Yeah, or just in any other comic book. I mean, Deadpool has
for
done it.
sure. Deadpool.
Not like Walking Dead gross, but
Yeah.
more like adult humor
Yeah,
and
well, like
sensibilities.
they had the Deadpool Max comics, which were done by Kyle Baker did the art, and I love him. He's awesome. Those were really cool. I don't know if that was necessarily the groundwork for the new Deadpool movie, but it definitely mirrors it. Also, you have a book like you have books like Sex Criminals.
Okay.
That's definitely
Hard R.
up the ante. Yeah, where it's like a lot of there's lots of sexual innuendos, jokes, violence, but it's very humorous as well. Like it's a funny book.
How many tentacles?
0
Okay.
so far. They could come, at some point. No pun intended.
Because he said that. Fourth wall breaking stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that was it was classic. I really liked the way they handled it, and I think that in American culture we need to make more room for adult graphic novels and sequential art. I think that's important.
Definitely, it goes back to if you go to Europe or Japan, especially in Japan, everybody has like a manga or comic with them
For their genre.
Yeah, for whatever genre it is. All comics aren't superhero comics. In fact, superhero comics in Japan aren't even really that popular. Like you have some here and there. Obviously, Dragon Ball has it's kind of like a superhero thing. One Punch Man is a current popular superhero comic out of Japan. But for the most part, everybody has their own type of stories, just like everybody has their own type of TV show or movie here in the United States. It's just manga is way more. It's just more of a popular thing. It's just like picking up the paper. People go, it's on the newsstand, or they pick it up and they go with it.
Yeah, so you're a corporate executive titan, you got a comic book genre for you. If you're a housewife, you got a comic book genre for you. Teenage girl, giggly.
I mean,
There's something for you.
Just like there's any type of TV show or Netflix movie or novel that you can pick up, magazine. It's the same thing for manga over there in Japan and in Europe. And
Yeah, I've noticed this new contamination of art styles, this blending of anime style with American traditional classic cartooning, and so there's this cross pollination of each group picking from the other group what they like and then regurgitating it into an art style that's not one or the other, but a blending of the two.
Right.
And I see that coming to fruition especially in subcultures here in the United States. I also like another trend that I'm really been enjoying is the respect that subcultures have been getting beyond just the dominant white guy comes in, saves the day. Now with Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, and even with old characters like Power Man and Iron Fist and that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think that as more diversity is demanded by the readership,
Right.
and the demand is people actually going out and buying the books, not somebody writing an angry letter or tweeting or Facebooking, but actually purchasing the material. I think that's been driving these companies who are profit driven to be more respectful to the consumer base, which is getting more your color.
Oh,
yeah. So that's kind of neat.
Speaking of diversity, today was what would have been Dwayne McDuffie's 54th birthday, and they had an award named after him called the Dwayne McDuffie Award for Diversity in Comics, and it was just awarded to Miss Marvel's G. Willow Wilson and Adrian Alfona, which I think is I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's definitely a step in the right direction. And Dwayne McDuffie just didn't get the respect that he deserved while he was alive, man.
Right.
I mean, the stuff that he did on Justice League Unlimited, is unparalleled storytelling.
All his milestone stuff, like the creation of Static. Static, I think, is a great character. And then all the animated movies and TV shows and things that he did. And I even love, man, I'm a huge fan of Damage Control.
Oh yeah,
that 4-part miniseries, which I heard is getting a TV show. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I just think that, if he had survived the changes that could be made and the people that he could still be influencing, he was taken away way too early. And we did homages to him at 2 of the Motor City Black Age of Comics for 2 years in a row because of the impact that he had, being a local guy from Detroit, influencing so many of us that were working in comics, trying to draw, trying to get our books out, trying to get published, and just batting down those doors, or batting our head against the doors, and people not respecting, the diversity that now is starting to come about. And I think he would be very happy to see that, to see this new renaissance of creative talent come out. And I hope that we can see the same kind of cultural blending that they have in Japan. That no matter what genre you're into, you can go and you can find a graphic novel or some sequential art that is that's to your taste. That you shouldn't have to settle for less than what you want. And I think the opening of those doors, or the kicking down of those doors, just by his excellent material that he put out, just the quality of his work. I mean, he did awesome relationships between Vixen and Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, and and the villains, that he paired up and reimagined. I think that award is definitely something that I'm proud to have known him and called him a friend, and it's good to see that they have that award out there to really showcase people that are being those pioneers in this day and age. Like 2016, we have to talk about people who are still pioneers, right? Yeah. But it's good to hear different voices, and get different takes on a lot of this, from a different perspective. And I'm really enjoying this new renaissance in comics and the blending of media. Anything else going on in the shop? Nothing hot?
Really.
Nothing hot?
Just
waiting for Daredevil on Netflix.
Everyone's really excited for Daredevil, and we're also really excited for Civil War. And in celebration of Civil War, we're doing on March 11th. Our book of the month for Nerdy Book Club is the basis for Captain America: Civil War is Civil War.
Civil War,
written by Mark Miller and with art by Steve McNiven.
Yeah, Captain America jumping out of the window of the helicarrier. That was one of my favorite scenes when he went through the bridge.
Unfortunately, the movie won't have a lot of the characters that are in the comic.
No, I think people have to really wrap their minds around. I mean, us who grew up with the comics and that was our only outlet, we have to let that go because the movies will never be the comics.
No, it's...
And then people hated it when they did the Watchmen it was a true adaptation of the comic. It was literally
Right.
a
It
visual
was-
version of the
yeah.
comic book, and it got critically panned. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I liked the Watchmen.
I liked it more than critics did, but not by much. I thought it was a solid movie, but it wasn't great like it could have been. You know?
That opening scene, though, that
The opening
cross-
scene is brilliant, but that doesn't make up for
No.
so much.
I'm just saying that in that,
so much wrong.
yeah, but it was a blow by blow
Yeah.
translation of the comic book. And
Well, it worked with Sin City.
as a blow by blow translation of the comic
I
book.
thought Sin City was a really good adaptation,
Mhm.
but I didn't think that Watchmen was.
Watchmen was.
Yeah.
But you didn't like the squid thing at the end?
Yeah, the non-squid thing.
The non-squid.
Yeah, no, but
it was a machine.
You're right. It were. I mean, I was okay with that. You know, you have like a little tweak here and there,
Mhm.
but I think certain things like I didn't like the music choices that they used. Like
Okay.
it would have been better if they used a score. I didn't like how everything looked so glossy and clean.
Because they used the same color palette from the comic book.
Yeah, but it's just like some of their outfits. I'm like, what are they wearing?
Too much CGI.
Yeah, it just looked too. Everything looked really glossy to me. You know, and I
Not a
thought
lived-in
Watchmen
world.
should have looked a little grungy and dirty.
Lived in world.
It should have
yeah.
looked more like Blade Runner.
Right.
Maybe not that futuristic, you know,
But that
actually a
tone,
little bit
that
more
color palette.
retro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Or like just like everything in Blade Runner, everything's really dirty and
Lived
dark.
in. Lived in world, yeah.
Exactly. Like it looks
Like
there's-
you actually had been there for
exactly,
50 years. yeah.
Exactly. And Watchmen did not. No, Watchmen just looked fake and cheesy, and
Okay.
I wasn't done with it.
Well, there's that. I enjoyed it. It was some escapism for me. But I think that people really have to, this point going forward, have to realize that the comic books are not going to be the movies. The movies are not going to be the comic books, I should say.
Oh, exactly. No,
So
I
when you
totally-
go in going, oh my God, that was nothing like Spider-Man issue number,
If
blah,
anything,
blah, blah.
If,
I'm like,
if
no.
anything,
No,
I
it's
think
not.
that I am more willing for them to have more creative decisions to change it for a 2-hour film and for the franchise as a whole, because I understand that, you know, what they have to do. If they try to make it exactly like the comic book, I would be really upset. You know, if they take scenes right out of the comic book and they just filmed that, I would be let down.
Yeah, the movie universe has to be its own universe.
Exactly. Right. It has to be.
Now they can cross-pollinate TV and the movies a lot closer than they have been. I know they've been trying to keep those two separate universes.
Yeah.
But I think that they both benefit from that, because you could tell a longer story, a longer setup in the TV show, and then have it kick off in the movie, or follow up with some things that were left hanging in the movie in the TV show. But I think those should be equal. They should share the same universe, like I was saying. But any other media, whether it be literature or graphic novels, I mean, you can't translate that to a motion picture. It's just, some things just aren't translatable. And I think that comic book readers, the fanboys, really ought to come down off that, you know, and stop complaining about that, because it's not, you know, if you want to, it's just not doable. You may be able to do a cartoon like that or an animation like that, and you know, but you can't translate the drawn page into a movie and expect it. You know, it's a completely different animal. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And people complaining about it just need to stop, because it's not going to happen. And when it does happen, you bitch about that. It's just like the comic book. So why go pay to see it? So there's
All right.
that. Anything else?
No.
Okay,
So we're good.
So we got Civil War coming out.
Yeah.
Our next nerdy book club is Civil War.
March 11th. Yeah. Civil War.
So they got some tension there between Captain America and Tony Stark, Steve Rogers and Iron Man. Some shit about to go down.
Yeah.
Okay. And we look forward to seeing you at next week. I'm Lee Gaddis.